What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? Go check out my other videos. Check them out. Check them out. But first, stay on this one. So let's get right into it. I'm not gonna, sit here and waste your time, beat around the bush. You read the title. You saw the thumbnail. That I got it right. Let's go. All right. So you read the title. You saw the thumbnail. Let's get right into it on this episode of Debunking Anti Gunners, and I'm here to warn y'all. There will be more episodes coming up pretty soon. There's been a lot of crazy things that have been being said. But on this episode of Debunking Anti Gunners, semi-automatic rifles just allow people to shoot others, or excuse me, just allows criminals to shoot people so easily. What? One of these? One of these? A semi-auto rifle? One of these? No, they don't allow people to. They don't allow criminals to shoot people more easily. Yeah, I'm just confused here as to where they got that idea, because the action of shooting somebody, right, is pulling the trigger, which which makes the gun fire the bullet, and the bullet hitting somebody. So what does that have to do with how the rifle functions, other than it shooting somebody? What does that have to do with its function in regards to it being a semi-automatic rifle? What? What do those two things have to do with each other? Well, I'll tell you what they have to do with each other. Absolutely nothing. They have nothing to do with each other. Guess what? Truth be told, right? If I were to camp out and, if I were a mass shooter and I decided I'm going to camp out and, I'm going to use two guns, a bolt action rifle and a semi-automatic rifle. I pulled the trigger on the bolt action and shoot somebody. That's the exact same amount of effort that would have been used to shoot this. It doesn't make sense. The argument that people make that semi-automatic rifles just allow criminals to shoot people more easily, one, it implies that criminals pretty much only own semi-automatic rifles, which I'm here to tell you is not the truth. Okay? If you guys have seen any videos online, first off, you know damn well that a majority of criminals don't even get rifles. All right, they get micro Dracos and AR pistols, and they don't put any sights or any form of stalker brace on their AR pistol. So let's be honest here for just a second. They're not getting semi-automatic rifles. They're getting what are classified as pistols still. So let's clear that up. Let's get that out of the way. Stop acting like... And then, oh my gosh. Guys, we have a lot to unpack here with this one, because this is one of the dumbest things anybody can say. Like, in the sense that, just so y'all can see, we are clear. The effort it takes to shoot somebody is... That's what shooting somebody entails, is you pulling the trigger. That's the action that it causes for you to shoot somebody. What? The whole argument they make that semi-automatic rifles allow criminals to shoot people more easily when it's the same amount of effort, it's pulling the trigger. Some people can argue, oh, well, because, the semi-automatic gun, and compared to a bolt action, it cycles itself, so that way you can just shoot again. That's not more effort, though. That's not less effort for you shooting. That's not how that works. Like, the action of shooting still has the same amount of effort. See, and this is something that anti-gunners like to say as, sort of, they try to essentially scare you. And this is something I've talked about a lot. It's scare tactics. And I'm not talking about the show, my friends. All right? You are not on Scare Tactics, the show. You are on real life, and they're trying to use scare tactics on you. You see what I'm saying? So the best way to explain it is simply that, mechanically speaking, because the gun is a semi-automatic firearm, doesn't make it easier to shoot. What? Well, I'm sorry, but every time I say that, my brain just goes, "What? Why are people?" Like it makes my brain short circuit almost because the effort that comes with shooting is pulling the trigger. That's it. That's it. That's what it takes to shoot a gun is pulling the trigger. So the argument that semi-automatic rifles make it easier for criminals to shoot people makes no sense. Now, here's another question I have too, and this is what not a lot of anti-gunners want to ever express: is if you're that worried about criminals going around shooting people, why are the criminals out? Why are they not in jail still? Like, here's the thing: I'm all for felons being able to get their Second Amendment rights back. However, I do draw a line, and some of y'all might be wondering, oh, where do you draw that line? I draw that line simply where I feel that if, hey, I can't trust this guy to own a gun for his own protection, that he might go do crimes with it. Or, I mean, statistically speaking, most felons are men, so I can say this guy. But my point is that, oh, if I can't trust this guy to own a firearm for his own protection, like he should be able to under the Second Amendment right, I'm not going to let him out of jail. You see what I mean? The argument that, oh, well, these criminals can just shoot people so much more easily with a semi-automatic rifle, then that most of these criminals are repeat offenders. Y'all keep letting them out. Stop letting them out of jail. Stop letting them out of jail. Stop giving low to no cash bonds. Stop doing it. You know what I mean? You're letting criminals out of jail, and then you're wondering why crimes are occurring. And then you're blaming the tool that the crimes are being done with, or not even. A majority of actual gun violence isn't even done with semi-automatic rifles. A majority of it is done with handguns, but I digress. That's besides the point here. You then try blaming a tool. What? That would be like me saying, you know what? This guy went on a rampage, just started running a bunch of people over with his Ford. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say that we need to ban limousines. What? It's the same notion. It's the exact same concept where they're making an argument for, oh yeah, well, criminals, they don't, they can just get their hands on these semi-automatic rifles so easily. But a majority of gun crimes are done with handguns. And if you're so worried about these criminals, who once again, a majority of them are habitual offenders, they are repeat offenders, why do you keep letting them out of jail? Oh, well, no person should be caged. You know what? I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, I personally disagree. I mean, if you're going around killing people, if you're going around doing unspeakable acts, then yes, I do believe that you need to remain in jail. I'm a firm believer in the death penalty too. Let's not keep our jails so filled and having to waste our taxpayer dollars. So, I mean, look, I know this sounds like I'm going off on a rant here, but there's so many problems with just this argument that anti-gunners try making that it doesn't make sense to me, because all of it seems like it could have been avoided if they did things differently. Oh, well, we're worried about criminals getting our hands on semi-automatic rifles. Well, maybe if you approach things differently and realize that criminals aren't doing a majority of gun crimes with semi-automatic rifles, you would realize how dumb you are. 1. 2. Oh, well, we just want to make sure these criminals can't get them. Okay, if you want to make sure they can't get them, don't let them out of jail. Once again, a majority of them are repeat offenders. I'm sure there are going to be some exceptions to the rule where it's somebody who's never gotten caught before and they do some unspeakable act. Yes, there are probably going to be exceptions to the rule, but that is a risk you have to take when it comes to freedom. And that's the truth of the matter here, is you can't sit here and infringe on people's rights. And not to mention too, what a lot of people aren't realizing is that semi-automatic rifles it's the most used and popular rifle platform, technically speaking platform, I guess you could say, in our country. Making it well in use, meaning since it is popular in pretty much everyday use, that they can't be banned. They fall under the Second Amendment. All arms, technically speaking, fall under the Second Amendment, as it doesn't specify what kind of arms that you can or can't have. It actually, well, I mean, it does specify what kind of arms you can have. It says all arms. It doesn't specify what kind of arms you can't have. I'm getting off topic here. Let me get back on topic, right? A semi-automatic rifle does not allow you to shoot people easier than it would a bolt action or a handgun or a shotgun or anything. You know what I mean? That argument makes no sense, because what effort is put into place when shooting is pulling the trigger. Some of y'all might argue, oh, well, you're arguing semantics here. And you know what? You're right. I am. Why am I arguing semantics? Because truth be told, that's the game these anti-gunners like to try to play, and they're not very good at it. However, I am. I am extremely good at arguing semantics. Now, with that being said, I think that about wraps it up for this video. I don't want to keep going in circles. Overall, do semi-automatic guns make it easier to shoot, or do they make it easier for criminals to just shoot people? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. This is something that they're solely trying to say because they want to ban semi-automatic rifles, because they want to take our Second Amendment right. In no way does it make it easier. Once again, guys, it is just the pull of a trigger. That is what shooting the gun, that's the effort of shooting the gun. Other than, I'm about to go back into my whole tangent here. I'm going to stop myself. Y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all. And whether or not you agree with me, look, if you agree with me, then check out all my other videos. If you don't, then this one is for you. Hopefully that ASMR, fixed your soul. But if you don't agree with me, also check out all my other videos. Y'all make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.